Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another conference of the African AI International Festival. And I'm going to be your host for this session by the name Brenda. From wherever you're watching, you are all welcome. I see people from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Ghana. You're all welcome to this event. The first, I would like to recognize the founder of this organization, Mrs. Sandra Adeyeye. Thank you, Ma, for this opportunity to host this amazing event. Thank you so much to our guest speakers who honored this event. And congratulations to all the winners of the challenges. It wasn't really easy being creative, being innovative with your ideas. Congratulations. Now, moving forward, we're going to go to the first part of today's event, and that will be a keynote speech by our founder, Mrs. Sandra Adeyeye. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for that amazing introduction. I am trying to get my camera up. For some reason, it's unable to get me up here, but I do hope that you can hear me. So I'll keep this short if my camera cannot come up the screen here and I cannot be seen. All right, so thank you, everybody. Welcome to the second edition of the African AI International Film Festival. For the April Festival, yes, we are back. We are bigger, bolder to explore the uncharted territories and storytelling. Over the next 2 days, we'll showcase cutting-edge films, spark tough conversations, and push the boundaries of what's possible with AI. Yes, generative artificial intelligence. So yes, let's dive into the unimagined. The festival is now open. Enjoy the show, everybody.
Opening remark by our founder, Mrs. Ade, I so much appreciate. Now, moving forward, we would like to invite a keynote speaker, someone with high prowess and intellect on what it is to be innovative and creative in the AI Industry Film Festival. It's none other than Mr. Obinna Okerekeocha. Mr. Obinna Okerekeocha, the stage is yours. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And it's Okerekeocha. Yeah, so just to make that note. So my surname is Okerekeocha. So hi everyone. How's it going? It's great to be here on a special day. This is Good Friday for all Christian folk. So let me. Okay, great. You can see my screen. Let me know in the comment section if you can see my screen. So Brenda, I'll need your help on this. Okay, great. Okay, great. So let me do this full screen. So Brenda, I need you to say something if you can still see my screen. Okay, great.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Fantastic. So hi everyone, good to be here. My name is Obinna Okerekeocha. I'm an artist, filmmaker, musician, composer, executive producer. I've worked in content marketing, Nollywood as an executive producer. So these are the places I've been, worked in. Essentially, my journey at a glance. And recently, most recently, started a film festival last year called the Naija AI Film Festival. So we're kindred spirits. We belong in the same community. So Fun fact: John Cena is following me on X. Don't ask me why. I can't give you any reasons. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. We're looking at for those of us, creativity, the truth, and artificial intelligence. So Stephen Hawking, very very famous computer scientist, mathematician, says that it will either be the best thing that's ever happened to us, or it will be the worst thing. And case in point, what we're talking about today is artificial intelligence. I mean, we all know that. I mean, everybody here is here for a reason, and as AI has completely changed the world we live in. It has changed how we interact with the world, how we, get information, how we interact. For a very long time, we were very, very adept using Google for everything. So you do a search, you do a query, but now everybody's day is not complete without using Claude, Chat GPT, Gemini. It's become part of who we are, and in different fields as well, in technology, in engineering, manufacturing, in marketing, and now film. And this is why we're here, to see how this affects us. But what I want to do today really is to really take a deep dive into what is this thing called AI? Where did it start? What is it about it? Where did this all come from? So artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence in machines, enabling them to perform tasks that typically require human cognition, such as problem solving, decision making, and learning, right? So the core capabilities of artificial intelligence: perception, understanding, interpreting data, image recognition, reasoning, making logical decisions. Now, we know we're in an era where people sort of outsource their thinking. They also outsource their seeking for solutions using artificial intelligence, reasoning. So learning, improving performance over time, recommendation systems, creativity, generating new content, which is essentially why we're here. So basically, the core capabilities of AI are essentially human capabilities, right? These are things that we would do normally. So we would think, we would reason, we would learn, and then human beings definitely are essentially creative entities. So where did this all start? How did this, where's all of this from? Did we just wake up one day and then Sam Altman of OpenAI says, "Oh, we're going to be using that Chat GPT"? Is that where AI started from? So I'm just, we're just gonna. So just to sort of bring some things home, AI has been with us for the longest time. Things like the autocorrect in your email, the autocorrect in your WhatsApp, the autocorrect in some of the everyday apps that you use, that's artificial intelligence, and that's been with us for quite a long time. But it goes way, way longer than that. So essentially, AI has evolved over the decades, from theoretical concepts to real world applications. So what I'll do is I'll go through a timeline. Like for instance, there's in ancient Greece, there's this machine that was built called Talos, which essentially was a bronze crafted sculptural piece that served like a protector of Greece back in the day, and the fact that it's just almost like a mythical story, but that sort of were the early signs of the kind of intelligence that human beings would have, So a giant bronze crafted from by Hephaestus was like the creator of the bronze statue to protect Crete in Greece at the time. There are drawings by Leonardo da Vinci called Automata. You can check this out from 1495. It hinted at early AI ideas. Automata, or mechanical self-operating machines, have a rich history spanning from ancient mythology and Greek engineering to 18th century clockwork masterpieces. And then we have in 1837, Charles Babbage designed the first analytical engine, a mechanical general all-purpose computer at the time. And then you can see examples of all these contraptions that were built at the time. 1843, Ada Lovelace suggested machines could be programmed. So it was not just a question of making the machines to solve particular tasks, but being able to program them and give them abilities of your own. So follow this. So 1836, Alan Turing proposed that the Turing machine laid the foundation for early computing. So essentially, the ideas of how machines can be autonomous, far outdate us. So moving forward, the birth of the AI within the 1950s and 1960s, the first AI programs. Alan Turing in 1950 introduced what they call the Turing test, the way to measure machine intelligence. And in 1956, the term AI, artificial intelligence as we know it, was coined at Dartmouth, at the Dartmouth conference in the UK by a guy called John McCarthy, whose picture you see. McCarthy developed the Lisp, the first AI programming language. Now today we talk about Python, JavaScript, C++, Sharp, C Sharp, and all that stuff. But there was the first AI programming language called Lisp that was created in 1958. Early AI programs. 1951, Marvin Mafinsky built the first artificial neural network. 56, Noel and Simon created a logic theorist and AI capable of solving math problems. In 1966, Eliza, the first chatbot. So chatbots didn't start in 2020 or in 2000, in 2019 or 2016 or 20. They started in 1966. Eliza, the first chatbot, was developed to mimic human conversation. So within the 1970s and the 1980s, we had the, sort of the AI winter where nothing was really happening, and then the boom. So we had the boom in the 50s, 60s, and then the 80s we had winter. So 1970s saw rapid funding limitations, lack of computing power, because obviously there was a great need for computing power to do all these processes. High cost of AI research, limited world applications. And it's also important to note that in the 70s and the 60s and 70s, a lot of the world was in a lot of unrest. So you had the civil rights movement happening in the 60s, you had wars happening in Africa, you had so much happening, and you had the Cold War between USSR, the Soviet Union, which is now known as Russia, and America. And it had AI winters from 1974 to 1980, 87 to 83. Funding was was slow, government and investors, and essentially government wasn't interested because they had other issues to deal with. But that wouldn't last for long. There was a resurgence within the 1990s and 2000s, machine learning and big data. So IBM developed something called Deep Blue, which was pretty much their first machine or computer that was essentially AI powered at the time. And so for those people who are into chess, there was a very popular Russian chess champion called Garry Kasparov, who was like a world grand chess master. And he played against this computer, Deep Blue, in 1997 and lost. So it showed to us that AI-powered systems or AI could outperform humans in specific tasks. So between 1999 and 2000s, AI benefited from faster computers, larger data sets, the evolution of chips, better algorithms, the rise of machine learning and neural networks improved AI performance, and leads us, down to the, 2010s. So IBM built another computer called the Watson that featured on a very popular show called Jeopardy, and then it won, beat human champions. The 2012 with the deep learning boom, Geoffrey Hastings' team used deep neural networks to win in competitions. Then 2014, Google stepped into the game with their Google's DeepMind. They developed something called AlphaGo, beating human champions in a complex game of Go. In 2016, AI assistants started to see other companies like Apple, OpenAI, all of Midjourney coming to the fray, and you started to build things like Siri. Siri is AI powered, Alexa AI powered, and Google Assistants became mainstream. So 2020's AI breaks the neural language processing, build computer vision and with the birth of computer vision and generative AI, and then we started to see things like we all know it, ChatGPT, Gemini, revolutionized text. So text, you see, you input text, natural language, and then you get this information. AI-powered image generators like DALL-E, Midjourney, Nano Banana. Of course, we started to see things like for medicine and other areas, things like AlphaFold, essentially. So this is a brief rundown of how far we've come. And right now, we are now in an era where there's the AI and the human collaboration, So basically around research, ethics, human and AI collaboration, we see AI infiltrating or being part of a lot of what we do, and then we have, we get to the point where we talk about the truth. So what is the truth? The truth about AI, and the truth about it is you look at the news every day, you look at what's happening, with the realities of what AI has created in terms of, so a long time ago, or some time ago, if you were an engineer, one of the requirements was that you were able to code, either a software engineer, maybe not necessarily hardware, but software. You had to write programs, you had to write lines and lines and lines and lines of code. But now we've got something called vibe coding, where essentially you tell, you have entities like LLMs like Claude, where you can literally build anything. We have vibe coding with apps, models like Lovable, where you can build an entire website, an entire brand system. This is where we are. So the truth is, AI is simply a tool, and this whole thing around, you would lose your job. Yes, the truth about it is that it has to be said. Some jobs may be lost. Some jobs that involve monotony will essentially be lost to AI. Essentially, AI will think about those jobs. What does that mean? Jobs that you have to do every day repetitively. Because we as human beings and entities, we are built for bigger things, more significant, valuable things. Things like being, strategy, things like solving bigger problems, seeing the bigger picture, planning strategic long-term goals. While the little things that happen every day, these things can essentially be outsourced to machines, where we focus on bigger problems. Essentially, that's where we are. So what I would say is, in the AI economy, there's a high chance that if you do not sharpen your skills, get some sort of some sort of certification, but being able to ship something and build something with AI, there may be a challenge for you. So I think that platforms like this are really important to stress the the really vital nature of understanding artificial intelligence and seeing how it applies to your field. You might be in engineering, you might be in marketing, in filmmaking, research, whatever it is that you're in. How does AI impact the thing I do? You alone can answer that question. So AI is a tool. That's the truth. It is a tool, but how you harness that tool is so important to your survival in this AI economy. So AI today, essentially, real world use. We see it in healthcare. Scientists and people in the medical field are using to synthesize proteins to look for solutions to medical problems, to speed up the generation of drugs. This personalized medicine, it's now used in banking and finance for fraud detection. People are now trading using AI agents. AI agents essentially deployed in the world now to do a lot of tasks, from helping you with your grocery list, to helping you plan your day, to helping you plan, to essentially help you with project management, credit scoring. People live in societies where you actually need to check your credit scoring to probably take a loan, or probably put down a mortgage on the house. Chatbots and virtual assistants. So recommendation systems now, interestingly, for those people who watch Netflix, as you can see, or Prime Video, you watch one film and then something, you finish the show, and then you hear since you watched X, you would like X. That recommendation engine is powered by artificial intelligence, because it's able to map out the kind of shows that and that you appreciate because of what you've been able to watch. Recommendation systems, even in Spotify, in Apple Music, all that stuff is powered by artificial intelligence. Inventory management, virtual search, and all that stuff. So we even in real world we see Waymo's big brand in America. These are AI powered taxis that drive themselves. Route optimization, even your Google Maps. It's artificial intelligence. Traffic management, predictive maintenance. So it's literally everywhere in every sphere of the life that we live in. Now we're even talking. I know now we're in the era of war. We see wars happening, Russia, Ukraine, America, Iran, and a lot of all the deployment of ballistics and missiles are all AI. It's all AI. It's becoming AI warfare, where there's precision hitting. You don't necessarily have to, working with AI integration, they're able to detect where the enemy is. So it has pervaded every fabric of our lives. So essentially, real world use, agriculture, again, entertainment, within the entertainment space. I mean, these are areas where multifaceted parts of our lives that AI is essentially a part of. So so essentially, AI model. So what is an AI model? An AI model is a mathematical algorithm or computational system designed to learn from data, recognize patterns, and make predictions or decisions without being explicitly programmed for a specific task. AI models input such as text, images, numbers, and produce meaningful outputs based on their training. So essentially, a lot of all the models that we use, whether it's Gemini, whether it's DeepSeek, or whether it's Claude, or whether it's ChatGPT, their own models that are trained. So, and there are different training, different models I will see. So machine learning models they go through what they call supervised learning using labeled data for training, essentially. Supervised learning finds patterns in labeled data. Reinforcement learning learns through trial and error. So essentially, machine learning models are models that can learn from labeled data or unlabeled data. Deep learning and neural networks use layers of artificial neurons to process complex data. Applications include image recognition, speech synthesis, and autonomous vehicles. Generative models used for content generation, examples are ChatGPT, Gemini, Nano Banana, FreePic, and a whole bunch of them. So essentially, then LLMs, large, you hear that a lot. Large language models are types of models trained by vast amounts of data. This brings me to something I'll speak about as we go along. Large amounts of data, text data to understand, generate, and process human language. They are based on deep learning architectures that can perform tasks like. So basically, they are built using transformer networks, which allow them to process huge amounts of text data efficiently. Here's how they function. They are trained. The model is trained on vast data sets, books, articles, codes, websites, deep learning techniques. Tokenization. Text is broken down into. So basically, this text in the training phase, they are broken down into small pieces for the AI to process. Self-attention mechanism. The model understands context by analyzing relationship between words. Fine-tuning. Large language models can be refined for specific tasks, medical, customer-related chatbots, whatever it is. GPT. So the GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. It learns grammar, context, and facts from the internet to generate human-like responses. So the GPT is essentially the transformer that is pre-trained, which is essentially the model, and then provides you all the information that you put into it. So popular LLMs today, ChatGPT, Google, Llama by Meta, Claude by Anthropic, and so many of them on DeepSeek. We know them all. So basically, this is essentially how it affects us, as creative people, as filmmakers, as people who are essentially trying to find self-expression in the things that we do. Either you're looking to, tell a story, use AI for music, use AI to solve creative problems, marketing challenges, So basically, AI is transforming creative industries, helping artists, designers, filmmakers, writers, just produce content faster and more efficiently. We look at some of the AI best part trained, essentially. So we've gone through this for text generation, So basically, so I think the basis of any story is the script. The basis of any marketing campaign comes with what you write as your strategy. The strategy. Why are you doing the things you're doing? And then to create that, you need to have. Rather, before you start the creation, you need to have an idea of what you want to do. And these models, what I'll say to you is, artificial intelligence it's two words: artificial intelligence. Let's look at that word artificial. It essentially means something that is derived from something. It's not the original. The original is you and I. You are the original. You are the purveyor. You own the idea. The idea comes from you, and you always be and make us understand that, AI is a tool, like we've established as the truth. So it is not wise for you to essentially, outsource all your thinking and everything. It helps you supercharge, further develop what you have thought about. Let me say that again. The real creator is you. You cannot outsource what essentially creating something or refine. You can refine your ideas, but as a creator, you come up with your original idea. And once you have that, even if it's a line or a sentence or something, the original idea needs to come from you. You need to figure out what it is that you want to do. And then AI can now help you further establish that or further develop that into, take it from, here to here. But then what I want to say is, a lot of us, the truth about it is that AI has made us a little bit lazy. We don't seem to push ourselves, but don't forget why you are an artist or why you're a creator, to create something that didn't exist in the first place. And that's why you're different from everybody else. So you need to have always remember that, that AI is only here to magnify the idea I already have. You're not outsourcing your thinking to the technology. So basically, we all know them: Grok, DeepSeek, Meta AI, a bunch of other things, to develop. So the idea that for your creative needs to come from you. The idea for your film, the idea for the short form content that you want to create, blogging, copywriting, script writing, storytelling, and reasoning. You have to create it first as a creator, and then at some point where you feel you're stuck or you want to further develop what you have, then you can introduce artificial intelligence. I hope that's clear. Now, a whole bunch of things for documentary filmmaking, for actual filmmaking. There's so many models that we use, and the truth about it is that there are so many models out there, and there's even a struggle for I won't say debate, but some sort of a struggle for which to use, that kind of thing. And then I think it all boils down to what it is that you're trying to do, because a lot of all these models provide us with the abilities to create things, from the very popular one, Google VO, which is found in Flow, where you're able to create an image in Nano Banana and then bring it over into Flow to essentially create what you want to create. So there's Nano Banana. What I'll say is a flow that can always work is, so you've created your idea for what you want, and then you're now looking to try out some pre-visualization. So let's say you want to tell a story about the ancient Oyo kingdom. So you don't have an idea of what the ancient Oyo kingdom looks like, and maybe you want to tell the story about this warrior from Oyo kingdom, who was probably a soldier in the Alafin's army, something like that. But then again, you're looking for reference images. What did it look like? The great thing about storytelling is that these tools can help you provide solutions to those problems. So for instance, you find an image of old Oyo kingdom. What did it look like? And then you get an image, maybe an image that is not complete, or maybe let's assume you found somebody has scanned a real image, and then because of age and because of time it's worn out or something like that. Or you find an illustration, and we're saying, okay, I want you to reimagine this. So you bring that image into Nano Banana Pro, and you can access Nano Banana in Flow. You can access it as a standalone in Gemini, and say, please look at this image, reconstruct this image, and let me see what it was like in what it probably would have looked like, what the Oyo army would have looked like. And then you have that image, and then you bring it into Google Flow, and then you animate it, and then you tell the story that you want to tell. So this is just a short example of how you can tell stories. So there are tons of there's Google VO, there's Luma Dream Machine, there's Runway, there's Kling, there's Halo, there's FreePic that has it's called a wrapper because it's like Hicksfield. It's got a lot of all these models in them that you can use. And then some of our guys have built in Nigeria have built their own wrappers. So essentially what the wrapper is essentially is a model where the APIs of the very popular models are there, and then you can actually access them. Like for instance, somebody who's part of our society or part of our community, Alpha Moboli built ASUNG, where you can access all this and paint there, which is actually great. So basically, use this for film concept generation, doing great marketing visuals, creating shortlists with things like Google Whisk, concept design, image enhancement, and a bunch of other things. I'm sure you guys have seen so much examples. Like before we started, there was a small montage that showed some of the selected films that were selected for the festival. These are areas, these are examples of what you can use these models to create. Like the image you're seeing here was created with Nano Banana, with simple prompts. And then one thing I think we also should learn and understand is prompting. I'm sure that as we go along in the festival, there will be classes on prompting. Prompting is essentially a set of commands that you give to your model to get the best results. And there's prompting, there's prompt engineering, which is essentially a system of being very, very exact with the details you want, and when you tell the model what you want to create, that kind of thing. So it's critically essential that in building your prompt, you're very, very clear in the instructions that you're giving it, so you have the exact details that you want. Yeah. So then for music and sound generation, there are we have examples of Suno AI, which I think is the most popular one now. It's global. A lot of viral hits have been created with Suno, like the Papa Ote, reimagination of a particular song by a French artist that was done with Suno. There's Udio, there's 11 Labs now also, that also has music generation as well. And I think that Google has Google Lyria now. Yes, they have their own music and audio generation engine. There's 11 Labs, there's Hedra, then there's AI Studio Playground. I'm going to be doing some live demos for this because I think it's really something that's really powerful that helps my own creativity. And the speech also built by a Nigerian who's part of our community, speech to text engine model that uses Nigerian accents and dialects. So music production, background scores, AI generated lyrics, voiceovers, essentially, and dubbing for film. So these are some, and then the areas, then these are some models that actually can help you create music. And then there's the, for people who are more in the 3D side of things, a bit more hands-on around animation, there's NVIDIA Gorgon, that AI assistant landscape for 3D creation, deep motion, AI-powered motion capture for 3D animation, Spline, and AI-based 3D modeling that, that works in your browser, Cascadia, an AI assistant animation tool for physics-based movements, Meshscape, for 3D modeling, so people within who are pretty much invested in the 3D animation pipeline, and game development as well. These are tools that can actually help you supercharge your creativity. Yeah. So, just some examples of stuff that, I've built. So, in terms of challenges, I mean, we all know about deepfakes, which is now a challenge, data bias. Like what I would say is a lot of all this data that has been used to create all of these models is actually Western because they've invested in infrastructure and all of that stuff. So there are issues around data privacy and security, infringement of IP, data scarcity, bias discrimination. Like I said, data sets that are trained they have a Western bias. We have talked about job displacement and then misinformation. We work in lots of wars. I'm sure you must have been seeing all of the propaganda material. America releases one video and then Iran responds. Sometimes we don't even know if some of the missiles fired are real missiles or not. But these are very, very key, some challenges that we have with AI. Computational cost. We talk about chips, the prices of chips going, skyrocketing. NVIDIA, we see, when a new system is released, the chips go very, very expensive because there is a high demand for computational power. Now, essentially, how you would say, so where all these things domiciled? So basically, there are things called large multiplexes called data centers that reside in advanced areas of the world, in America, in Canada, in places in Europe. Essentially, these data centers house computers, that run on something called GPUs, graphics processing units, and they are very, very powerful because for every line of text that you put into an LLM requiring information, those, depending on the location, those GPUs are activated. So they work, and sometimes for those people who develop high volume of data, who are always seeking information. Sometimes, like for instance, I was doing some stuff today on with Nano Banana, and all the Google products, from Nano Banana, Vio, and said, there's high traffic, and then had the amber warning, that kind of thing. Yeah. So Papa Ote is actually AI. That's Papa Ote, the remix. There's an original song called Papa Ote, but the one that is very popular is actually AI. Yes, it is. So when you send a query, you generate a video with Vio, with Seed Dance, whatever it is, this infrastructure called data centers, those GPUs are working. Now you can imagine how so much GPUs are required, powerful GPUs are required for computing. So the prices are beginning to go up, that kind of thing. Lack of explainability, black box here. Many deep learning models make decisions without explaining how. Generalization issues. AI struggles to adapt to new situations it wasn't explicitly trained on. So there's still that gap, and that's why provision of data sets and training material is such a big business now, where people are looking for training on data that probably wasn't known to to the machines. That kind of people are sourcing data from Africa, different parts of the world, to train the systems. And for every time that we impute any sort of information, either we are chatting or having a conversation, it's training the model, that kind of thing. So let me speak to this. So one of the challenges we have here in Africa is that a lot of we are heavily dependent on all these Western models, whether it's Gemini, whether it's OpenAI. None of them are in Africa. And the truth about it is that we're on the queue, just like everybody else is using all that stuff. We're using their stuff, and I'll use an example to explain. And we are great ideators and great producers, but we don't own anything. Ownership is where there's an ownership deficit. And what do I mean by that? Now, if you look at YouTube, for instance, we have the YouTube economy, user generated economy, something that YouTube powered. From about 2020, when there was let's say 2012, 2013, with super boom, almost like the birth of content marketing and then the birth of user generated creators. When a point where people broadcast themselves, But here's the thing: you can imagine all of our big filmmakers, creators who have great followings and who earn a lot of money on YouTube. Now, the thing about it is that if you think about it, none of those data centers or none of those servers that house all this content is based in Africa. So it means that you can upload and create content for years and not own it. So what can happen is that what if something happens and there's something cuts off communications cables cut off in the Atlantic, and then there's an internet blackout. It means that you've lost access to everything. Let me give you an example. Sometime in 2020 during the pandemic, if you guys can remember, for those of us who can remember, we lost access to Instagram and Facebook, and like for 6 hours nobody had access to their Instagram. And then what was only working was WhatsApp and Twitter, and everybody was like, so imagine if you have built 5 million followers, we have built a business on Instagram and all that stuff, you no longer had access. The challenge here is ownership. So in Nigeria, for instance, there's really no ownership around owning infrastructure. So we create a lot, but we don't own anything. So this is why the conversation I've always had that conversation with people who are in government, that there has to be an intentional focus on building data centers, and because this is what will now encourage us to build models that are trained on our own data sets, so that there's no Western bias, trained on our own data sets, and then we can have our own models, so trained on Nigerian data sets, our culture, our language, our nuance, the things that matter to us, the things that mean to us, the things that we can relate to, and then we control those things. But now we don't. So you are doing your nano banana. Somebody saying nano banana is a lifesaver. But imagine one day you no longer have access to nano banana. What's Nigeria's equivalent of nano banana? Gemini or ChatGPT? So these are larger questions for the conversation. So so there's lack of global AI regulations. AI is evolving faster. April will bring its own set of AI evolution and new products. I keep telling people that this in AI industry is evolving every single second. You open your phone, you get on your favorite news blog or whatever it is, there's new news about AI. So it keeps changing, and that's why there's lack of AI regulation. Some time ago, I think last year, Disney sued Midjourney for the ability to create some of their characters on it, and it became a big court case. But that case is still in court. Now, I believe that the ruling is going to create the marker for a lot of how we provide a lot of guardrails around how we use AI, that kind of thing. So lack of global AI regulations, even the World IP International Intellectual Property Organization of the world is still figuring out how to to essentially rule around things of AI. Let me explain to you. So this whole thing started as research, like when we're doing the history bit of this, all these things were around experimentations and research. Now, in training these models, a lot of people, publishers, publishing houses, volunteered this material to train as data sets to train. Now, nobody knew exactly how it was going to turn out, but we're not in a situation where it all turned around well. And then now the question now becomes is, how do you compensate people who have donated all of this material to train this, artificial intelligence? Because if you look at the trillions and billions of data sets that have gone in by images, and you can imagine if for instance, I know that Google's View, Google's Nano Banana, especially View, is trained on data from YouTube because they own YouTube. So they have terabytes and terabytes of video information that they can train. And that's why when Google View launched early last year, it was revolutionary. It was mind-blowing. You could generate with audio and voice and great looking images. Now everybody is sort of caught up. Now, how do you compensate people who have given to, who have essentially provided their material for data training? And that's why, in the questions around ethical use of AI. So when you create anything, who owns it? Can you claim ownership to it? That's why it's not really very clear. And these are the issues. So ownership, is it really authentic? Are you really the creator? And these are why these questions are there, because how you trained the information that was used to train these things essentially volunteered, So a lot of people, lay claim to it. And that's why there's still a lot of debate, So you create, art using Gemini or using Nanomana, whatever it is. Did you really create it? Yes, you wrote in the prompt. Yes, should be some credit for that. But then again, the training of the model, is a byproduct of, or rather an end product of trillions and trillions of data. So these are the issues that need to be sorted out from a legal standpoint. So these issues exist. So it's good that we're aware of them. Intellectual property use, AI generated content, raises questions like who owns the AI created art? Is it code? Is it, so this is, all these things come from code, or is it from your prompt? Yeah, of course, I've talked about AI in warfare, surveillance, AI powered weapons, mass surveillance, raise serious ethical concerns. And then human and AI collaboration challenges. Many people distrust AI due to privacy concerns, misinformation on bias, deep fakes, putting the head of somebody, nowadays, there has to be a lot of AI forensics, because if you say somebody was caught on film or CCTV surveillance stealing, you can also argue that it was AI generated. So how do you ascertain that the person in this video is the person in this video, So I think that there has to be a lot of, AI forensics, like I know that there are sites where you can upload an image and you can tell if this was AI created. I know that for X users, Grok does this, so you want to verify the information and say, hey, at Grok, is this correct? Is this real? That kind of thing. So we have those sort of, AI forensic agents that can actually provide information. But these are the challenges of using artificial intelligence. Skilled data scientists, engineers, ethicists, where global strategic talent of AI. Some businesses and industries fear challenge or lack resources to implement AI solutions. So these are some of the challenges that exist at the moment, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, this is the fourth industrial revolution. So imagine a period imagine the 19th or the 18th century, when if you wanted your picture taken, a painter had to sit down and paint your portrait for hours, let's say give or take 5-6 hours. A king wanted a photograph, you bring all his family has to dress in royal robes, and then a painter sits down. Then photography came, photography came, and we started taking pictures. I think the first picture was taken in the late 1800s, and then the celluloid was born and stuff like that. But there's still the appreciation for fine art. People used to do painted portraits, people used to do, stuff like that. Didn't take away the art. I think there was more valuation and more appreciation for the art, but photography became a thing, and then film came. Film became a thing. Now, then the internet came in the late 1990s, and then Dingem and that all of that happened, and all that happened. Now AI is here, and while I'll say AI is not going anywhere, AI is completely changed essentially how we do our work, especially for those of us who are in film production. If you look at what we're doing with film, and look at the kind of stories. I mean, I think that one of the visions for Sandra is really essentially, and for us also at the Naija AI Film Festival is, and for me the story was, or the challenge was always, or rather the question I kept asking myself is, what is the future of African storytelling? And the future of African storytelling lies at the intersection of art and technology. So for those of us who are into film, what I'll say is you're in a great place. I've been reading some fantastic stories around how these technologies are now being embraced. For those of us who start, like when I had the idea to do the festival exactly a year ago, because people who me in the film, in the traditional Nollywood film industry were like, why is he doing this? Why is he wasting time? I got a lot of backlash, because people didn't understand it. But now, clearly, for a producer who is looking to raise money for his film, that doesn't have all the money to go and shoot the pilot, he can create what they call a sizzle reel or a proof of concept using any of these themes. And then he goes to show, I said, look, I'm trying to make this film. This film is about, thieves in the Niger Delta stealing, oil money and stealing, the product that belongs to all Nigerians. Here's a teaser that lasts 50 seconds. I said, okay. Now, it's like super powered show and tell. So you have a lot to show. So I think that there's never been a good time to be a creator, a storyteller, a filmmaker, because you have the tools to tell the stories you're supposed to. And for me, the challenge for me, or rather the conviction, was really somebody in Maiduguri, some kid in Maiduguri, somebody in Onitsha, somewhere in Undu. As long as he has internet, as long as he has a mobile phone, a laptop, he can tell the stories that we always wanted to do. And the thing about it is, like, we keep saying we need to tell our stories, but what are these stories that we need to tell? It's our lived experience. It's our shared experiences. Somebody wants to talk about what life is like in Jos, what life is like in Adamawa, Katsina, in Akure, in Umuahia, wherever. AI provides us that ability to tell these stories unfiltered. The days of the gatekeepers are gone. The days when somebody can tell you, like buying a camera now, how many people can afford $2,000 or buy lenses or $5,000 or buy, all that stuff, I want us to also note that traditional filmmaking is not going anywhere. We're going to still be making film, but now we can now do things that, like, for instance, you want to make somebody disappear, somebody jump from a 10-story building. You can do that now with Nano Banana. You can do that now. The supercharged, storytelling. So I think this is a great time, for us as storytellers, for people who want to, we have magic in our heads and want to bring them out. I think this is such a great time to be alive and to be having this conversation. So essentially, going through presentation, these are the areas where AI can help us actually, leave the kind, sort of do the things we've never been able to do. It doesn't come without it has its challenges. It helps us in so many ways. So so what I'll do now is essentially just share let's see how we can just showcase Google Flow, which is something that really, I guess some of us here will be very familiar with it, but it's just showcasing essentially how we can help us achieve some of the things that we want to achieve. I'm just going to open Flow here. Just give me a sec. So if this is making sense, you can feel free to put your comments in the chat box. So essentially, this is Google Flow. Google Flow is made by essentially Google. So basically, you can create videos and images using whether you want to do things like this, dystopian looking stuff, or just essentially everyday people stuff, depending on the story that you want to tell, essentially. So you can also do things like this that are a bit stylized, stuff like that. I mean, depends on, like, like now, well, you're only limited by your imagination. Essentially you can do as much as you want to do. So basically, so if you go down here, I mean, getting started, so it's Google Flow, by Google Labs. Once you Google it, you can find it, create an account with your Gmail. It's really straightforward to do. And then if you click here at the bottom, I believe you see video, click that, you see image, you see video. And then if you click image, essentially you can now choose the model Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana 2 Pro, what I like to do, because that's kind of like the sweet sauce for me. Choose your aspect ratio. So let's just do something, let's choose 16:9, which is a wide dimension. And let's create something, let's say the future of African. This is a prompt, by the way. Let's just say something that's a bit more vague. The future of African storytelling. This is just a vague prompt, and let's see what it can do. So we can essentially determine how many generations we want to see. We can say 2, and we can press go. And once we do that, it's generating. And then, I spoke about GPUs and all that. So it depends on, what the speed of the servers, wherever this is going to. But I think that typically, Google VO, Google's models are pretty fast because I think especially the fact that they are based in Africa, and I think that there's a data. I think there may be a data center in South Africa or no, I don't know, but it's really pretty much close. So essentially, we now have 2 ideas. So this is an example of how it has interpreted my prompt. Yeah. So now this is a random prompt. Now there's something called JSON prompting, and I'm just going to spell that out. So JSON prompting is a way to prompt that provides very, very specific information around JSON. It's a programming language, an old programming language, specifically mentions exactly how you want your image to look. So I'll give you an example. Yeah. So if we did, so basically, it should, I want to put something, I want to put something in the chat. Can I put something in chat? Hi, can I put something in chat? I'm thinking of how to chat. Let me see if there's a plus.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You want to?
Yes, I
want us to put it up on.
No. What I mean is, I mean, I'm trying to share some information with the guys so that they can see what I'm saying. Like, for instance, I want to give an example of what the JSON prompt is. Where can I put that information? Because I see the chat, but I don't see where to impute anything. Do you understand what I mean?
Okay, so the chat is not going to be live on YouTube.
Oh, I see.
But if you can show it on your screen, maybe an example.
Fine. Okay. All right, fantastic. So let's just go ahead. So basically, what is a JSON prompt? I hope you can see this. Okay. So basically, JSON, yeah, this is really great. JSON prompt is very specific. It talks about the shot, the kind of shot you're trying to do, the action, what's happening in that shot, the mood, sad, happy, what kind of character, male or female, and then your camera angle. So, initially, we said the future of African storytelling. So if we wanted to sort of add some JSON prompting, let's move this. Let's say the future, same prompt of African storytelling. So short, let's say for those who understand camera shot, you can say Dutch angle, which is essentially the camera tilted at a certain angle, action, happy and joyful. Sorry, no, this should be mood. Move that. Move that. Put that here. Action. Elderly. Elderly. Matriarch. Passing across knowledge. Character. Let's say passing across knowledge. Take that character is an elderly matriarch. Passing across knowledge. Camera, let's say 50 mm f 1.2. So depth of field. We have a nice cinematic depth of field, and then mood action, and then we can add one more, and let's see what that gives us. So what is that? Is the difference is that we're very, very specific about what we want to see in the shot. You know, so it's still, and what's also great about it is that you can use this as a reference, as what they call an ingredient. So this becomes a reference. Yeah, so this is a bit more refined of what we want. And then you can this sort of modify this, so you can bring this into as an ingredient, and we can say put this scene in the future. Let's say 2060. Futuristic environment with advanced learning assets. Yeah, let's try that. See what it gives us. Okay, minors. Okay, so yeah, so this happens sometimes when it detects minors. What's funny is that it created this image with the minors, and then we're feeding it back, and it's saying, so I can get rid of that, and then let's see how this turns out. Okay, same thing. So let's see something that doesn't have minors. Okay, let's drop this in. It says put this in the future. Okay, recreate the scene in the future. 2060, 60, future, add futuristic, learning assets, and just add a caveat, no kids. Okay, let's see what it says. I also say that I mean there are other image generation models like Seedream 5.0. You can actually access that in Higgsfield. I'll you know, show us that you know as well. It's another. Okay, this is 2060, but I guess we catch the drift anyway. Pretty much this is everybody here knows how to do that stuff. So but the whole idea is you know, being specific, understanding you know, how to be very prompt specific in your output and all of that stuff. So I think what is important is that in being able to create these things is really not about just being able to prompt for prompt intake. Or I think the key thing about it is that what are the stories that you want to tell? What's the minus? Is that an error? The minus. So no, okay. Someone's asking a question. Is there an error from prompting? So the minus is that so basically Google Nano Banana or any Imagen or any image creation engine will not allow you recreate images that have minors. It may be able to recreate it it may be able to produce it, but if you bring it in, once it detects minors, it doesn't, it doesn't allow you. But what's also interesting is that it's not the only image generation tool. There's Seedream 5.0 by Dreamina. There is there's that for images, there's Seedream by there's Krea. There's a platform called Krea as well. Let me show you guys Krea, and there's free pick as well. So Krea.ai. is also another image generation. Let me share my screen. So essentially, yeah. So Flow. So that was just an example. So Flow is not really, so there's Kriya. Kriya is actually another very, very powerful image creation platform, and then it has a wide variety of models. So basically, Kriya has its own native. Then there's the Flux. There's Flux Context. Yeah. So Flux is another system model that has so many variations that can create some really powerful images. There's Flux. There's Quen. Models. There's not obviously about. There's Seedream, the ChatGPT image. Recraft. There's Flux. There's Flux One. There's One. This a bunch of other ones. Context flow, imaging, and a bunch of other ones. Now, again, you don't have to be locked to. I think the brilliance of this is being able to have access to a lot of all these models as much as possible. I think if you go to FreePick as well, there's so many of them. So feel free. And I know sometimes it becomes a question of how much you spend, but having access to a lot of all these models can actually help you. So exactly what the images look like. There's a certain set of texture and lighting that a ChatGPT image will give you. There's also a texture and lighting that you get from Seedream. It has and then from this Nano Banana obviously. But I think personally, in terms of just refining images and editing images, I think for me Nano Banana is still one of the best. I must say. I'm sure you guys can attest to that. So JSON prompting is something that I feel you should be very, very particular, in helping you just get the actual, getting you to do the actual, framing or creation of whatever thing you actually want. So in terms of video, I mean, there's Flow, there's Seedream that everybody's raving about, Dreamina Seedream. There's Kling, and I think Kling is probably one of the most but they just added audio generation within their video generation, so it's still one of the most versatile. I guess there's quite versatile now. This Runway has this Gen 4.5 as well. So I mean, we are aware of these tools. I think for us the most important conversation really is what kind of stories are we telling. What I always tell the filmmakers within our space is that you're not learning these tools to make the next James Bond film. No, that is not the reason for learning. That is not why you have this this information in your hands. You are learning these tools so that we can tell the best stories from our continent, because we have an obligation to tell the best stories from our continent. How are we doing that? Something I was doing yesterday, and I was probably just yeah. So okay, somebody's asking a question. I've been seeing lots of ultra realistic human generations. Yeah. So Seedream is Seedreams, and so let me share. We'll be to share. Let me see. Hold on a second. There's something I want to share.
Bow or become a warning.
Civil. It is over. Civil. It is over.
All right, so I was trying to, let me see, window, entire screen, let me see, okay, cool. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Just let me know if you can see my screen. I have CapCut open. You can type. You can say yes, I can in this comment so I can tell.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Okay. So somebody was asking. I've been seeing lots of ultra human realistic generations now. Which model do you think uses kind of Apple? So yeah, Dreamina just released Seed Dance 2.0, and I was privileged to be one of the first users of this model when it came out. It came out sometime in January actually. So a bunch of us from across the world, and put us provide us early access. I think, but now it's great. So you cannot access Seed Dance 2 in CapCut, your CapCut desktop. So if you go to I don't know if it's on mobile, but if you have the desktop version, I use the pro version of CapCut. If you go to once you launch CapCut and you go here and you go to video section of it, say audio, there's media, and you go to AI media, AI video. Here you can see all the models. So Dreamina, Seed Dance 1.0, 2.0, Fast 2.0, Sora, Google VO, Dreamina, Seed Dance, and all that stuff. So you want to click 2.0. So this is an example of something I created yesterday. So I was trying to tell you guys around the fact that you say it's on my phone, fantastic. So it's on CapCut mobile, that's fantastic. But the thing about it is that it's going to cost credits. Just so you know, it's going to cost credits. So it's not free. You have to pay for credits in CapCut, but you have access to a really powerful. So as somebody who's an artist, who I went to art school, I'm pretty much very, very vocal around the art space and also around the Nigerian art movement. So basically, I mean, for those of us who have read about the punitive expedition of 1876 in the late 1800s, the British came here, they invaded our country. They colonized our country, but they had been carrying out expeditions in different parts of Nigeria. And in Benin, there was a clash with the Oba of Benin. They looted the palace, took away a lot of thousands and thousands of artifacts. Now, for me, and that's the great thing about AI, where you imagine things. You imagine things. So you can bring your imagination. There's no limitation on imagination. Whatever it is that you can think about, you can bring to life, because this technology superpowers that process. So I was saying to myself, these artifacts are held in various museums across the world, and we know that these things were parts of our culture, and then these things carry a lot of information. So what if they were activated spiritually and then they took up life and they came back to us? So just watch this. So I came up with this just last night. So just watch this. So this was done with Seed Dance 2.0.
Video is not playing. We only
It's
see a
not?
static screen. Okay, now
Okay, hold
it's
on.
playing.
Is it playing now?
It was stuck before.
Okay. Okay, I made it full screen.
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes.
Let me start again. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So this is an example of the kinds of stories that I think that we should be telling, using artificial intelligence. So, again, so as I wrap up, of course I'll be taking a lot of questions. I think what's important for us as African filmmakers is the fact that we are Africans, and then we are there's something about us as Africans, and we need to tell the truth about our continent. Thank you very much. About our continent, about who we are, what we are, where we're from, because for a very long time we've been fed with Western stereotypes. We fed Western stereotypes. We've been, in a place where a lot of it, how our measure of appreciation, our measure of what things should be, is measured from a Western lens, and that kind of thing. And that's come from years of listening to Western music, listening to Western, consuming Western cinema. But how about our, the essentials of what makes us African? I think that AI provides that opportunity for us to push that narrative and push that agenda. And I've always said this, we need the AI more in the global South than global North. So on that note, I hope this entire session was relevant and made sense to you. So yeah, so I'm going to throw it back to Sandra and the team. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, that was so amazing, you guys. Please give a virtual round of applause to our amazing speaker. He's been amazing, 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 amazing. I cannot appreciate you enough so much for lending, and of course for this very beautiful, beautiful presentation. Thank you so much, you guys. So I'm going to be bringing Brenda on. She's the host for this show. But before then, let's have some beautiful poetry here, you guys.
We don't stay broken. Crack us open, watch us rebuild stronger. Knock us down, we rise with blueprints for skyscrapers. They think broken means finished. We know broken means beginning. They always underestimate us. Always. Count us out before we even count ourselves in. See our struggle, miss our strategy. Hear our accents, ignore our intellect. Watch our hustle, underestimate our vision. But when the music changes, so does the dance. And the music changed. AI arrived. The digital revolution knocked on every door. And we chose this time. Not by accident, not by luck. We chose this time to show up. Right here, right now. In the world of artificial intelligence, where stories can be painted with prompts, where films can be born from imagination and algorithms, where our voices don't need permission slips, we chose this moment to tell our stories, our way, our truth, our lens. 500 strong in the AI Filmmakers network, combining our power and the tools. Ancient storytelling meeting neural networks, oral tradition dancing with machine learning, Ubuntu philosophy coded into every frame. We're not just learning the tools, we're making them sing in our languages, dance to our rhythms, see through our eyes. To cause change. Not tomorrow, not eventually, now. Shifting narratives one render at a time, rewriting algorithms with our perspectives, teaching machines that African stories and footnotes, they're the main text. To document our lives. The beauty they never broadcast, the innovation they never mention, the genius they always underestimate, the resilience they can't commercialize. A single hand cannot nurse a child. So we came together, 500 creators from the motherland and beyond, from Lagos to London, Nairobi to New York, Accra to Atlanta. Bundle of broomsticks. Unbreakable. They gave us limitations. We turned them into launch codes. They gave us scraps. We cooked feasts. They said not yet. We said we chose this time. See, the lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree praised himself because he knew no one else would do it for him. So we praise ourselves, we document ourselves, we change the game ourselves. AI Filmmakers Network. We don't stay broken. We chose this time. We are here. And we're just getting started.
What if your brand looked like this, and this, and this? From food to fashion, health to hospitality, tech to film. Whatever your industry, AI Filmmakers Network has creators ready to make content that stops the scroll. Send us your brief. We match you with the perfect creator. 48-hour response. Official AI Filmmakers Network at gmail.com. Your content handled.
What if Africa didn't wait for the future? Picture this. A new era of storytelling is here, where imagination knows no bounds. Welcome to SAB Studios NG, home of African AI storytelling. 100+ creators. One movement, one future. This is more than film. This is a movement. Join us.
Okay, you guys. So I had to bring our beautiful, amazing superstar guest back on, you guys, because I see a lot of your engagements here. So what we're doing is we're going to be showing your comments so that you can engage directly with them. Yeah, if you have questions, this is the rapid fire time, you guys. So let's go rapid fire on our amazing guest. So you already heard him. You've gone through his amazing presentation. Do you have a comment? Do you have a contribution? Do you have a question? Hey, this is the time to show your love to our amazing Mr. Obinna Okerekeocha from AI Film Festival. You guys, Obinna, if you're still here, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? So our community wants to engage with you, so we're gonna let them, you guys, rapid fire. Let's go. You have a comment? Do you have a question? Do you have a contribution? Hey, everything that he said, you guys, this is that time. Please, his brain, ask him questions. This is a very busy man. You don't see him every day, but he's got you. He's here now. So please go ahead. Okay. Can you see the chat on your screen? The chats are right now on your screen. So we're just going to let you engage.
So I do see questions.
Go. All right. Okay. So please take it away. I'm leaving the screen now. Questions, comments, everything. Let's go.
We don't stay broken. Crack us open, watch us rebuild stronger. Knock us down, we rise with blueprints for skyscrapers. They think broken means finished. We know broken means beginning. They always underestimate us. Always. Count us out before we even count ourselves in. See our struggle, miss our strategy. Hear our accents, ignore our intellect. Watch our hustle, underestimate our vision. But when the music changes, so does the dance. And the music changed. AI arrived. The digital revolution knocked on every door. And we chose this time. Not by accident, not by luck. We chose this time to show up. Right here, right now. In the world of artificial intelligence, where stories can be painted with prompts, where films can be born from imagination and algorithms, where our voices don't need permission slips, we chose this moment to tell our stories, our way, our truth, our lens. 500 strong in the AI Filmmakers network, combining our power and the tools. Ancient storytelling meeting neural networks, oral tradition dancing with machine learning, Ubuntu philosophy coded into every frame. We're not just learning the tools, we're making them sing in our languages, dance to our rhythms, see through our eyes. To cause change. Not tomorrow, not eventually, now. Shifting narratives one render at a time, rewriting algorithms with our perspectives, teaching machines that African stories and footnotes, they're the main text. To document our lives. The beauty they never broadcast, the innovation they never mention, the genius they always underestimate, the resilience they can't commercialize. A single hand cannot nurse a child. So we came together. 500 creators from the motherland and beyond, from Lagos to London, Nairobi to New York, Accra to Atlanta. Bundle of broomsticks. Unbreakable. They gave us limitations. We turned them into launch codes. They gave us scraps. We cooked feasts. They said not yet. We said we chose this time. See, the lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree praised himself because he knew no one else would do it for him. So we praise ourselves. We document ourselves. We change the game ourselves. AI Filmmakers Network. We don't stay broken. We chose this time. We are here. And we're just getting started.
It's been an amazing one. And from everything that our keynote speaker mentioned, there were a few things personally. Amongst them is that
Go ahead.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an amazing time with our guest speaker. Thank you so much, Mr. Obinna Okerekeocha. And I'm sorry for actually missing your name earlier. It wasn't intentional. Amongst everything that our guest speaker said, personally, I had few take homes. And one of them is that AI is just of our creative style. It's not a job stealer. AI is not some ghost from the. It's just something that helps us to become more creative. It helps us to get to a larger audience and the global audience at large on how our live person has become creative and innovative by the day. So this is me encouraging every creative person, be you an artist, a performer, a drama, theater artist, or writer, whoever you are on this space. Adopt AI into your creative spot. Make it part of your creative indulgence. Thank you. So moving forward, we'll be having an interview session with our winners from the last international festival, from the weekly challenges, and it would amaze you to know that we have 6 winners on board. And from these 6 winners, the first winner we have is Chialuka Chinwendu Baglomi from Nigeria, and he or she is a winner from week one's challenge with the title Cost of Success, Ambition or Sacrifice. The second winner we have is Evuare Uforma, also from Nigeria, and the person is the winner from week 5 challenge with the title When I First Saw. This person also won the week 6 challenge with the title Africa, Strength, Silence, and Stories Untold.
Sorry, before we go on, can we answer the questions?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
All right, great. So somebody says, can we use the KK the scene extender when generating AI and CapCut? Okay, so number one is I assume that I'm here myself. Can you guys see that? Hello? Oh, great, fantastic. So can we use this? So KKC mini concept says, can we use the scene extender when it's generating AI in CapCut? I assume that you are saying you are talking about sequence. So one way to do it really is to let me see if I can share. So let me see if I can share. I can share CapCut. I can show you a bunch of things. So basically, yes, you can. So if you come here where my arrow is, video, you can do image to video, and then you can do first image, last image. So essentially, you should have one way you can do this is if you're using visual based prompts is that if you do a storyboard of what your story is supposed to look like and your scenes, you can do your first frame and then your last frame, and then for continuity, you can take that last frame in a new sequence, let that be your first frame, and then you continue. That way is continuity. That's one easy way to do it, you know. You can also, if another thing you can also do is if you are doing text-based prompting, you do your when your output is out, what you can also do is to take a still frame from the last image or the last frame, and then that becomes the input for your next scene. Another way to also do it is to create characters. You upload the character. We have multiple images. You can do one image, upload your character, and then the character becomes constant. Like this is something I did.
Or become a warning.
So the character is still continuous. There's still continuity.
It is
because I uploaded this image as a standalone image, and then
or become a warning.
And then
civil.
Based on the story I want to tell, the character is still consistent. Yes. So that's another way. That's another way to do it. I hope that helps. For character So organizers, they say they can barely hear me, that I seem to be echoing. So maybe somebody's mic is on. I don't know why. Okay, so I hope that answers the question about CapCut. Yeah, so about CapCut. So next question is, what's the best way to monetize AI storytelling using human models to tell African stories? So yeah, I mean, basically what you mean by human models is really, stories that have human beings in them, or AI generated human beings. I think it's so I'll provide some context to my answer. The truth is that in Africa and the world at large, distribution is a problem. It's one of the challenges. So you make a film, you spend so much money making a film, especially going to cinema, that's so expensive. So people spend as much as 300 million, 250 million making a film, and when they go to the cinema, they barely make 50 million or 70 million. That is a challenge. And there's of course, I mean, for those of us who are into YouTube, you know this. There's something called cost per mile, which essentially accounts for how much money is available through advertising, the advertising spend, and how much you can earn, on YouTube. So basically, the challenge here is that the money that comes in for advertising is not a much, and there isn't a lot to go around. So for if you've met all the requirements for YouTube monetization, 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, you find out that the same type of video that you upload in America, there's probably, for every CPM, there's probably more money, allocated in Europe, America, than for Nigeria. So it could cost between, let's say, maybe $10 to about $2 here or something, like that's the disparity. So the challenge is, it's challenging to monetize. That's the truth, except you're going to put together a team where you can constantly churn out content, which is the challenge, But I've also realized that you may have to spend, I mean, you guys will know this, you have to spend some money doing sponsored ads, or paid ads, to actually ramp up your viewership and to ramp up your engagement, because that's what guarantees the guys. But what I also, a tip I'll leave here is for you guys is that um if you there's some of our really popular in traditional YouTube creators, filmmakers who have thriving YouTube channels. They're traditional filmmakers, but their YouTube channels are not domiciled in Nigeria. But what does that mean? So you have youtube.ng. They operate in Canada, youtube.ca, dot dot gambi, dot gambh, which is in Germany, dot us. What that means is that if you set up your channel abroad or in these regions, there's a larger pool of advertisers' money. So if you meet all the criteria, you are in a better position to monetize. That's one quick hack I'll tell you guys. So what you do is find a partner, find a friend, open up the channel abroad, and then upload your content and be consistent. There's a method to the madness, in terms of how you post. You guys can read up all that stuff. You guys are really smart people. But the point here is that that's one thing you can leverage. Another thing again that people do is build faceless channels where you really have no control. Where essentially you're just typing in scripts, and then there's so many of them. I can't remember now. A bunch of them are there where you can build stuff. There's one I'll leave with you guys called popcorn.co. So Popcorn is a platform that can actually help you create stories from scripts. So you don't have to prompt anything. You don't have to really essentially continuously prompt. You put in an entire script and it just builds the entire thing. Of course, you pay for it. So popcorn.co, check that out. So the truth about it is that monetization is an ongoing conversation. There is no silver bullet that provides you with a magical way to actually distribute. You have to either use YouTube, or if you're patient enough to build a system. What's also interesting is that some other people are building streaming platforms that are dedicated to AI content. We'll see how that proliferates over time. So question is my ideas for YouTube channel is to create African stories, even if somewhat long, but fantastic idea. Please go and make that happen. Is AI filmmaking close to replacing standard camera filmmaking process, which is traditional filmmaking? No. I think that traditional filmmaking is not going anywhere. I think that AI will only complement traditional filmmaking around things like VFX, special effects, VFI, push production, pipelines and all that stuff. It's not. I don't think it's going to replace it. Basically, from your talks this evening, we should think outside the box and create unimaginable with the power of what it. Sure. I mean, what is important is that there's so many things that you can do with this technology. The question becomes, what story are you going to tell? So basically, just what I would say to you is, what are the most important stories that matter to you? Tell them. That's how I'm going to answer that question. Okay, I think those are all the questions. So back to you, Brenda. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Obinna Okerekeocha. It was really an amazing one, and I could tell on behalf of everyone who is listening and everyone who is live at the moment with us, it was really, really an impactful one. We appreciate your presence, we appreciate your time, and even the pouring of your knowledge into we creatives in the space. Thank you so much, sir. So please, in the comment section, don't forget to share to friends, colleagues who also will be impacted by this session. Don't forget to tell your neighbor and your friend that African AI International Festival is still live. So moving forward, we would also be speaking with our winners. We'll be having an interview session with our winners at the moment. And I was actually calling out the winners. So please be attentive for your names. Pay attention so that once you're called up, you would have an interview session with myself while we have our audience listening. So the first winner we have is Chialuka Chiwendu Batlomi from Nigeria, and it was a winner from week one's challenge with the title Cost of Ambition and Sacrifice. The second winner we have is Evoire Ufoma, also from Nigeria. And this winner was from week five's challenge with the title Africa Strength, Silence, and the Stories Untold. The next winner we have is from week 4's challenge, and this person is from Kenya by the name Messi Beryl A. Julius. The fourth winner we have is Daniel Ako Uchechukwu from Nigeria as well, and is a winner of the week 3 challenge with the title Love as a Status Symbol. Another winner we have is Chika Babs Mensah from Nigeria, and he won the week 4 challenge with the title Freestyle Brand as Filmmakers Network. Okay, so the winners, if you are live with us, please do well to join me on this session for the interview. Are you ready? While we are waiting for them, do not forget to share the live contact. Remind your neighbors, your friends that we are still live. We're still on the African AI Filmmaking Festival. It's not something that they should miss. It's not something that any creative, be you an artist, be you a poet, be you a filmmaker, a writer, it's not something to miss because this is a really impactful session. Okay, they're joining. You're welcome. You're welcome. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Bat Evuare Uforma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Evuarere Ufoma. Can you hear me too?
Evuarere Ufor. Yes, I can hear you audibly, sir.
Evuarere Ufoma.
Evuarere Ufoma. Such a beautiful name, sir.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I know and I can believe that you're quite amazed to have won the challenge from week 2, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, week 5. And with the title was quite captivating: Africa, Strength, Silence, and Stories Untold. It's quite amazing that out of all the people who created their stories using AI and filmmaking, you emerged the winner. It's not an easy thing, and I applaud you for that. So, on that note, I just have a few questions for you, sir. And these questions, I'm going to learn from it, our audience would learn from it, and even people who are novice in the filmmaking AI system, in the filmmaking AI village. This question that you are going to answer is going to encourage them, is going to encourage their creativity, and also they'll give them this thumbs up, keep it up. And that question will be, what's the most exciting part about being part of the AI Filmmakers Network? And how do you also intend to take this passion to the next level?
Thank you very much for being here. It's been smooth for me being a member of this platform. From the very, very beginning, it has been discipline, learning,
Okay.
learning from the source. This is the first time I will have somebody teach me the basics of film creation, and I would like to advise, like I've always been saying, people should take their time to really learn the basics. Learn the basics. If you learn the basics, there's no how you miss. When I joined the platform, AFN, I came one of the I came fifth. My video, the first one I created, I think that was week 2. And I promised myself that having gotten all the informations available, I know I can go well. So new creators should take time, learn before the earning. Take time to follow. There are basic steps in film creation. There are basic steps you need to do. You can't, if you have a ladder now, you want to get to the top rung of the ladder, you have to take it step by step. So that has brought me to a community where we learn from each other. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. With all that you have said, I could tell that your watchword and the only thing that kept you going was perseverance, the
Yeah.
consistency to just keep doing better. It's not like, oh, like you said, the first time you ever performed, it's not like you were amongst the best, but you just had to be consistent. You just had to persevere. And that was actually an amazing one. It was a good spirit, sir. I really must applaud that. Thank you. Okay, the second question I would ask, and I think that will be all for now, is how do you plan to leverage the AI film network? How do you plan to leverage the community and its resource to push yourself into your creative boundaries? I believe before you started with the community, you had a goal, you had a target, and from the way you were speaking, yes, you still have that target. So how do you plan to leverage the opportunity that the community has given you to the next level for yourself?
First of all, I would like to collaborate with other creators with of like minds, and talking about leverages, the informations are there, and SAB, as we know her, has created an opportunity for us to tap into, except you are lazy. So I am open to, I'm looking at, we discussed it at a point in time in the course of our challenge weekly that I like to collaborate with like-minded creators. Okay, let us think of an idea, for tomorrow's sake, for the future. So the opportunities are there. It's just for we to just tap into it. So the opportunities are there, very, very great, except one is lazy. And I know one has been in the creative space for a while. I'm a visual artist, and it has helped me greatly to be disciplined, joining this community. That's the first thing I learned. You cannot jump except you start, stay focused, and the community will take you to the next level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. That'll be all for now. But before we go, sir,
Yeah.
please, how do we say bye in your language? Because I mean, we are all Africans and we are learning in the creative space. So if I want to shoot an AI movie and I'm trying to use your dialect, how do I say bye?
I'm an Orobo man.
I'm an Uroguma. Did I get it?
No. I'm an Urobo man. Told there.
Okay.
I'm
Told there. Okay.
I'm Roma Bo.
Told there.
Told there.
Okay. So there, sir. At least I've
Thank you.
learned one thing I'm going to add to my movie tomorrow. So there, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Bye. Okay, the next winner we have is
Right.
Chialuka Chiwendu Batlomi. The next winner we have is Chialuka Chiwendu Batlomi. If she's not here, let's have a session with, okay, I can see Dan Chechuku Ako. Welcome, Mr. Daniel. Good evening and you're welcome.
Can you all see me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can. Visibly, I can.
yeah. It's good to be here. I'm so sorry. I'm laughing too much. It's just that
No,
I've been
no,
waiting
no,
for
you
this.
deserve it. It's not easy to be a winner. Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
It's only for a testament of your hard work, your perseverance, and just the consistency to keep moving. So smile, laugh all you want. You deserve it. Yes. Yes,
No, no.
it's yours.
Aside from the winner, no, I'm just excited to be here. Like I've been waiting for the festival for a long time, and being on the on this platform right now for people to see my face at least for the first time, it's something for me, and I'm just excited to be on this space right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're welcome.
yeah.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And I remember that you're the winner of the weekly challenge, Love as a Status Symbol. Please, if you're not live, kindly mute your mic. If you're not with us here, kindly mute your mic so I can hear myself. Thank you. So I believe you were the winner of week three challenge, Love as a Status Symbol. Hmm. That is a very interesting topic. Whenever you mention love, count me in because I'm here already. Anything that concerns love. So, yes, yes, anything that concerns love. Okay, Mr. Daniel, what do you think about what's the biggest benefit, right, of connecting with fellow filmmakers in the AI filmmaking industry, and how has it inspired you to work so far? It's like when you were creating that story, when you were writing the story, what were the benefits you had, and how did that inspire you to write story about love?
All right. Okay. Let me come from uh, uh, a real place of view. Like um, my drive has always been from SAB, and I've always have this limited thought when it comes to creating. I've always seen film in a different way. That this is what I could actually probably this is the limit of things I could actually put out there. You know, SAB made me believe that see you could actually do more. It is not by doing something small. It's not by just doing the little ones that you are seeing. There is bigger things that you could actually do. So she has actually pushed me to see the possibilities of creating some okay, let me use unimaginable things. So yeah, and that has actually pushed my storytelling, right? It has pushed the way I come up with my ideas, also putting out my creations as well. So I think that I don't know if that answers it. She has been like the one pushing me so far, and with the community as well, their feedbacks, their love so far. So being in that space alone is just it, honestly. Honestly.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying Fab has been your inspiration all through, being the
Yeah.
founder, and not, they are founders, right? But they are these ones who encourage you, who push you to do better. So you are saying that she was not just a founder, she was also a motivation to just keep doing what you're doing, no matter how small it is. And in fact, being small is not an option because, I mean, what happened to being great, right? Oh, that's so amazing. And I can see that where the love is. Because, I mean, if there is no love, then why will you win? I was waiting. If I didn't say anything that had to do with love being someone, that means you just loved her personality. So that was like the best situation. If not, brother. So thank you so much. Now, secondly, what kind of collaborative explorations do you anticipate within the community? What kind of just on the theme, or maybe what are things you expect, particularly on collaboration within members of the community?
Okay. So yeah, we have
Because you never
amazing.
can tell who's actually like.
Yeah. So there are many creators on the platform, the ones that we see and the ones that we don't see. But the ones we see, I love their ideas. I love what they put out because all of them they have from their own point of view. They come out with their own what they think and they think something different from mine. And anytime I see their videos, their videos are like just different. I always see a touch, like something different in their videos. So I'm always looking forward to collaborate with these people. Like these are the first people I'm starting like creating with. So I want to work with them. These are the people I want to collaborate with before I even reach out to the bigger audience, right? These people are creating amazing stories. Like their pictures, like there are things I see in their films, like in their videos, especially in the weekly prompts of the week when they drop their videos. They are definitely there's no way they post something and I don't find one single thing in their video that I'm like, wow, where did this guy, like, how did this guy just come about this? Like, what, it's amazing. I love crazy people with crazy, like, minds, like, and we have them there. So I'm looking forward to, work with them. Like, someone that we just spoke with now, Reformer is also one of those. If I give that to him. And we also have people like Chika, amazing people there as well. So a lot of them there. So I can't wait to see the possibility of what we could actually put out there as a film in storytelling. So that's it. Yeah.
Oh, I love your vibe. So it's like you do not have any particular expectation. You are open any kind of collaboration that comes in. That's a good mindset, Daniel, and I would urge you to keep it up. But that's one of the things that actually boosts your growth in the industry. So thank you so much for being with us. And once again, and congratulations on the win. I keep saying it, it's not an easy one. So keep smiling. I love the smile on your face. Smiling. It's actually not an easy one. Thanks so much for being with us this evening, and I will stick with congratulating you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Okay, our next winner that will be with us this evening is Messi Burial Julius. Messi Burial A Julius. Is she here with us? Okay, I can see Chialuka Chiwendu Bartolome. Welcome, Chialuka. Okay, while we're waiting for her to come live, I think she's having a challenge with her network or something. But while we're waiting for her to come live, take your time to please share the link, the live link, still reminding your friends, your folks, your neighbors that we are still live and it's still the same space to learn and grow as an AI filmmaker. Welcome, Mercy.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. However, your video is not on. Hello, Mercy. Can you hear me? I think Mercy is also having a challenge with her network. So, as I was saying, please remember to keep sharing the link while we're still live because it's very important. And don't forget to follow our handles on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Follow us, learn more. And with every video that comes up, please remember to like, remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel, remember to like our videos, remember to also put in beautiful comments on our videos that are being uploaded. And Don't forget to share to friends. Don't forget to even share to whichever person you have around you, be it a novice or even someone you think that is advanced. No knowledge is a waste. Welcome, Chaluka Badlomir. Okay. Think they're having.
Onekani inasumbua sumbua tu, sijui kwa nini inashinda ikini throw like out. Haifanyi, sijui kwa nini. Hata sioni chochote. Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello there.
Hello, Mercy. Can you hear me now? Okay, now we have Shaluka Batlumi. Welcome. Can you hear me? Hello, Mrs. Shaluka Batlumi Chiwen. Can you hear me?
Hello, Brenda.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Brenda.
Can you hear me now?
What if your brand looked like this, and this, and this? From food to fashion, health to hospitality, tech to film. Whatever your industry, AI Filmmakers Network has creators ready to make content that stops the scroll. Send us your brief. We match you with the perfect creator. 48-hour response. Official AI Filmmakers Network at gmail.com. Your content handled.
Welcome, Ms. Cham Aluka Chiwendu Batlumi. Can you hear me now?
Brenda, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you audibly. You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
And congratulations on winning the week one's challenge from January. Congratulations on your win. It's not easy. Having different
Thank
creative
you.
mindset, you just had to stand out. You just had to be an evidence of excellence. Congratulations on that win. I must applaud that. Okay, so moving forward, I would like to ask, how do you plan to leverage the community's resource to push yourself within creative boundaries? How do you plan to leverage the resources, all that you have learned,
Thank
all that you have been
you.
exposed to in the AI filmmaking network? How do you plan to leverage those resources into your
Much.
creative boundaries, your creative space? Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm sorry,
Okay.
my network is pretty bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I was asking, how do you plan to leverage the community's resources for your creative boundaries? It's like all that you have learned, all that you have been able to be exposed to within the period of working in the AI filmmaking network. How do you plan to use those resources to boost yourself in your creative boundary?
Yes, the plan is just to get better, right? It's just to get better. Being in such environment is a plus for me because when you are in such a viable environment, it helps you in the journey of your becoming, right? And so I'll get to leverage all I've learned to scale my productivity, number one, and maintain my consistency as well. When you are in such an environment, it helps your consistency, right? Now, if you have worked with SAP, the convener of AI Film Festival, you know that she's someone that can limit.
Ish, I think we lost her again. Okay. She's having quite a challenge with her network. And okay, but if Miss Mercy is available, can we have Miss Mercy on? Okay, it seems they both aren't available at the moment. Well, it has been a wonderful one. It has been an intriguing one, a swell one, I must say, having to meet different people in the AI filmmaking network, having to get exposed to different ideas, because I mean that's what the world is for. Go there, make you do with what you have in the global village, explore every aspect of creativity that you get connected with. And you know, one thing about the creative industry, let alone adding AI to it, is that creativity is not like maths where it just has a single solution, right? It's like every channel, there's always something to learn from, something to take from. Okay, we have her back on stage. Welcome back, Mrs. Chialuka Bartholomew. Can you
Thank
hear
you.
me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, you were saying something. You were talking about how you would leverage the resources that you have been able to get from AI filmmaking network to your own personal space as a creative. Can you hear me? Wish. I think she's got disconnected again due to her network. Okay, while we're still on, please everyone check the bottom of this live video. There is an information that is being passed across that once the live is ended, please join the premiere of the selected films on this channel. And also remember to drop your comments. Remember to also like and share the videos. Thank you. Okay, I can see our founder and okay, she's out of. Miss Sandra, can you hear me? Am I audible enough? We just have two winners who we ought to have an interview session with. Hello, Miss Sandra, can you hear me? I don't know. Yes, who's that?
We don't stay broken. Crack us open, watch us rebuild stronger. Knock us down, we rise with blueprints for skyscrapers. They think broken means finished. We know broken means beginning. They always underestimate us. Always. Count us out before we even count ourselves in. See our struggle, miss our strategy. Hear our accents, ignore our intellect. Watch our hustle, underestimate our vision. But when the music changes, so does the dance. And the music changed. AI arrived. The digital revolution knocked on every door. And we chose this time. Not by accident, not by luck. We chose this time to show up. Right here, right now. In the world of artificial intelligence, where stories can be painted with prompts, where films can be born from imagination and algorithms, where our voices don't need permission slips, we chose this moment to tell our stories, our way, our truth, our lens. 500 strong in the AI Filmmakers network, combining our power and the tools, ancient storytelling meeting neural networks, oral tradition dancing with machine learning, Ubuntu philosophy coded into every frame. We're not just learning the tools, we're making them sing in our languages, dance to our rhythms, see through our eyes. To cause change. Not tomorrow, not eventually, now. Shifting narratives one render at a time, rewriting algorithms with our perspectives, teaching machines that African stories and footnotes, they're the main text. To document our lives. The beauty they never broadcast, the innovation they never mention, the genius they always underestimate, the resilience they can't commercialize. A single hand cannot nurse a child. So we came together, 500 creators from the motherland and beyond, from Lagos to London, Nairobi to New York, Accra to Atlanta. Bundle of broomsticks, unbreakable. They gave us limitations, we turned them into launch codes. They gave us scraps, we cooked feasts. They said not yet, we said we chose this time. See, the lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree praised himself because he knew no one else would do it for him. So we praise ourselves, we document ourselves, we change the game ourselves. AI Filmmakers Network, we don't stay broken. We chose this time, we are here, and we're just getting started.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello, Miss Shaluka, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Welcome, welcome, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
It's really not easy
Thank you.
to be creative. It's not been easy to like do extra, because one thing about winning effort, the exceptional idea, not the in terms. So congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
because of our time, I believe you're the winner from week 4's challenge by Babs Mensa. Once again, congratulations. It's
Thank
really
you.
not easy. So because of our time, I would just be asking a question, and AI filmmaking network can help filmmakers overcome the challenge. And how best do you think the community can support them? I believe as a filmmaker, you were able to note a few challenges that creatives had in the AI filmmaking network. So, how do you think that these community can help the creators overcome such challenges moving forward in their development as creators?
Okay. I think as a community, we have the responsibility of looking out for each other, and that's one thing we have been doing very well for since the inception of the community. So I think we can actually help each and every creator by ensuring that um, that we ensuring that skills are acquired by each and every creator, that everyone gets to imbibe the skills, and also we ensure that as a community we hold each other's hands, and we help review work of each and every one of us. We help review each other's work, and that's something we have already been doing as well. So we also have the responsibility of learning from each other. Where one creator fails, another creator mustn't fail in that aspect anymore, because you learn from that person's mistakes. And also we get to collaborate with each other. So these are some of the things that we get to enjoy as a community. And I think you asked two questions. What's the second question you asked again?
Okay, the second one is, how do you think that the community can help them to overcome that challenge? And I think you were answering it at the moment, though.
Okay.
How can
To
the
help
AI
to help
filmmaking
each.
net these creatives to overcome the challenge?
Okay, what challenge exactly? I didn't get that part. What challenge? I didn't get that part, please. What kind of challenge? Um,
Okay,
sorry,
Imagine
can
to
you
me,
truth
the
is,
look when I
you
show.
know, as a filmmaker, right, there are challenges. For example, there are persons who are quite creative, but because maybe they do not know how to make use of AI concepts, how to generate certain ideas. They just have it in their head, but how to put it out there becomes a challenge for them. And ones who they do not have the idea, right? But once you give them this concept, it's like they snap their hands, type a few things, and before you know it, ChatGPT is regenerating all the things they have given. So, how do you think AI filmmaking help these creatives in these areas where they have
oh,
challenges of such?
oh, oh yes, okay. Okay, in that aspect, the AFN as a community has been helping members to not just to be prompters. We are beyond that. We've gone beyond that. So we are not just prompters. We are filmmakers. So we have been taught how to create films like directors, regular everyday films that you watch on Netflix, where there are directors, where you have a budget, where you have everything working, and the kind of cameras you use and everything. AFN teaches all that, and we have been taught everything about AI filmmaking to that extent. So AFN helps members to grow and not just to be prompters, but actual directors in filmmaking. You are the director, you are the actor, you are everything, and we've been trained to think that in that line.
Okay, thank you so much. And once again, congratulations. Thank you for your time with us this evening. That would be all for now. That'll be all for now. Okay, I can still see Miss Chaluka Batlumi. I don't know if your network would give us the ado to continue.
All right.
Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
I'm back. I can hear you.
You're welcome
Thank
back.
you. Sorry about
Now,
that.
I was actually I was asking, no, it's understandable. I was asking a question. So far as a creative, what's the biggest benefit you've had from the community, from SAB, from AI Filmmaking Network? What's like your biggest benefit so far? The greatest, or more so, the greatest thing you've achieved being a member of this network or being part of this
All right.
network?
Thank you for the question, Brenda. Am I audible now? Can you hear me?
Yes,
All right.
very audible,
So back to your
very
question.
clearly.
I think the greatest access I've gotten, or the greatest thing I've achieved in AFN, is the gift of people, right? The community has exposed me to beautiful people, especially the convener of AI Filmmakers Network, SAB, right? That has been the greatest access I've gotten. The gift of people who help you, right? You know, there is this thing about you being in a certain environment where there are creative people, right? It's helped to sharpen your own creativity, right? So that's the thing about
Yeah,
creation. Don't just, films you see people create just like an ordinary person. At that point where you see people who did that beautiful thing, you now consume like a creator, try to see how you can make better things, you know. So SAB of the AFN will teach you how to think and how to do something at its best. We don't just create stuff. If you have seen most of the things we've created, we are very creative, excellent minded at that. You don't just create anything and bring out. And so she will push you to do what is right and do what is well as well. So I can say that the greatest I've gotten is the gift of people. That access I have to be in the community of those kind of human beings. I think that's my greatest.
Oh, that's really amazing. So far, you're actually the last winner on this session, and I can tell it must have been an extraordinary one. So, on that note, this is like last the last take home today. So you are going to give us our last take home, and that would be, what's your encouragement from all the resources you've gathered to people who are still novice or quite indecisive in the AI filmmaking network?
Okay. There is this thing about you being a kind of intimidated when you are a novice, when you are still starting out, right? Especially when you see stuff that have been created, you will be almost overwhelmed, right? So my take home is this: one step at a time. They should take it one step at a time, right? All of us, we all had our own beginning. Starting out has not been easy for anybody at all. Go and ask around. All right. So just know that you are in your starting phase, and that if you are very intentional about where you intend to go in this AI filmmaking, just know that your beginning is what you should be proud of. You fail, you continue. Just don't give up, right? Just don't give up. Have that mindset that you're a new person, you're open to learning. And in AFN, we have so many resources. They should take their time, go through the resources one step at a time, and practice. The truth is that you cannot be good in filmmaking, right, without practice. So don't just consume those stuff, consume, practice, and believe in yourself. Definitely you will get better. All of us are learning. There's no island, nobody is an island. We are all learning. That's what see us constantly criticize others' work in our platform. All right. So just for us to get better. So that's the essence of AFN. If your mind is made up, if you're intentional about your growth, definitely you will grow. So ladies, should just take it one step at a time. Be open to learning, be open-minded, definitely they will be better.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being with us. And once again, congratulations on your win. It's an amazing one.
Thank you
That'll be
very
all
much,
for
Brenda.
now. Yes. Yes. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long one so far, but trust me, no time was wasted on this session. I will still be your host for tomorrow. Don't forget, same time, same venue, restream. And then please don't forget to go through the videos on our YouTube. Don't forget to comment on the premieres that were put down on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. I still also appreciate our convener and founder, Sab, for this wonderful, amazing time and opportunity. And once again, congratulations to all our winners. See you tomorrow, same time, same venue. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much to our host. We appreciate your gracing the occasion with your presence. So for tonight, it was really amazing, all that we have learned here. So we are going to be premiering the movies in a bit. So please, let's hold on and look out for the best part of the show today. So let's get our popcorns ready. And also, we expect that after the premiere of the films, we expect everyone to be able to vote. So let's check within the community. There's a pinned message with a Google sheet. So that's how we can be able to vote our favorite films today. So that's it. So we are moving up to the next phase, which is the premiere of the films. So
what if your brand looked like this, and this, and this? From food to fashion, health to hospitality, tech to film, whatever your industry, AI Filmmakers Network has creators ready to make content that stops the scroll. Send us your brief. We match you with the perfect creator. 48-hour response. Official AI Filmmakers Network at gmail.com. Your content handled. What if your brand looked like this, and this, and this? From food to fashion, health to hospitality, tech to film, whatever your industry, AI Filmmakers Network has creators ready to make content that stops the scroll. Send us your brief. We match you with the perfect creator. 48-hour response. Official AI Filmmakers Network at gmail.com. Your content handled.
What if Africa didn't wait for the future? Picture this. A new era of storytelling is here, where imagination knows no bounds. Welcome to SAB Studios NG, home of African AI storytelling. 100+ creators. One movement, one future. This is more than film. This is a movement. Join us.
What if your brand looked like this, and this, and this? From food to